The big car seems suddenly to have become public enemy number one. If you drive a gorgeous beast that's packed with power and just oozes torque, then the envious looks you would have once received have been replaced by glares from the Green Brigade. And let's face it, the amount of money you spend filling the tank on one of these gas guzzlers could support a small third world country for a year. No, the powers that be seem determined to drive us into little cars with less power than a lawnmower. And every manufacturer worth its salt has jumped onto the bandwagon. Nissan didn't jump on the bandwagon, they really started the whole ball rolling when they launched their small car, the Micra, in 1992. It was billed as a small car with a big car character. There was nothing else quite like it on the market, and it promptly waltzed off with a 1993 European Car of the Year award. Its lousy suspension forgiven because it looked so cute. But now cute is everywhere, and Nissan have decided that it's time for the Micra to have a revamp. And all the tweaking seems to have worked. Micra 98 is much more fun to drive, but not as much fun as this version.
We've approached the range differently this time, and we're offering a much wider choice. There are three basic models, an entry-level model, the GX, which is a comfort model, and the SI, which is a sporty model. Those three basic ones, you can then add various different packs of options. So you really can tailor the car to pretty much any way you want, including colour. There are 10 colours to choose from, and you can have any one of those 10 colours on any of the models in the range.
Decisions. Now I have to choose for which of the three optional packs to go for. Should it be sporty with beefy bumpers and alloy wheels? Or maybe I'm more of a city girl. Maybe power steering and remote central locking is me. And once you've decided whether you're going to go for sporty or for comfort, it's the engine. The 1 litre or maybe the 1.3. Next you need to decide if you want to zoom around in a manual or Nissan's version of the automatic, continually variable transmission, which for the first time in a car in its class can now be used in conjunction with ABS. It's all very well Nissan giving us absolutely heaps of choice, but if they're going to turn the Micra into more than just a cute little thing that appeals to women with young children or pensioners, then they're going to have to turn it into rather more of a driver's car.
We've mainly concentrated on the perception. The actual ride of the car is very good, but people's perception, because the eye level is very high, we had to change that perception. And there's little things like changing the thickness of the steering wheel. That gives a person a perception of better rigidity. We've changed the steering bushes slightly, we've changed the power steering valving to give this better feel. And we've actually used the experience from the Primera, which was well received by the press and the public, to actually apply the same technology to the Micra.
So would you say it's more of a driver's car this time around?
We've kept the car as fun, but more, as you say, as a driver's car, more fun. In fact, you can drive the car very quickly, but it just feels more fun than it was before. But still we retain the strengths of the Micra, such as easy to park, manoeuvrability, and it's for town use, good visibility, etc. So retain those, but enhanced the other sort of more fun elements. I started working on the original Micra in 1998. Then we introduced it in 1992. We got Car of the Year. I was very, very proud then. And then from then on I became the European Principal Project Director, and I've now created this car in a more European mould to suit the European mind and the European taste.
It must feel like your baby winning the Beautiful Baby competition. Was it a bit like that when you got Car of the Year award?
Oh yes, I was over the moon. I think it was absolutely fantastic. It's the first time any Japanese brand had got European Car of the Year. And then we got the Japanese Car of the Year. It's the first time any car in the world has got both awards at the same time.
Wonderful. In a way, when you've been so closely involved in a project, does it become difficult to look at the things that need improving on it because you're so attached to it? And obviously, you know, the Micra in the past had many great attributes, but things like ride and handling did let it down. Is that difficult to face up to things like that?
Maybe initially, but after being in the industry a long time, you realise that the competition moves on, customer requirements move on. So to keep competitive, you have to really sort of criticise your own work. You have to be really self-critical and say, what can we introduce? What can we improve? Then we look at a lot of competitors and we do a lot of market research and say, well, hey, the market is moving. And in the small car market, it's moving very, very quickly. One of the first things we noticed when we launched the car was that a lot of people thought the car was too cute. Now, a lot of females like that, but a lot of the younger men didn't. So we had to change the looks, especially the front of the car, the face of the car, the character of the car. That was one thing. The other one which came across from really early days is that the interior looks cheap. Actually, the plastics and the materials are very expensive, good quality materials, but it actually looks cheap. So we had to change the perception of the quality. And then we noticed from the competitors again that the actual refinement, like noise levels and ride, was also improving, so that's another key area we have to tackle.
We felt we didn't need to change it completely. I think if you look at many other cars in the market, in some way they've caught up. This round, quite friendly shape is a very popular thing. What we wanted to do was really broaden the appeal of it. It sold very well to women, particularly those with children, and to older people. Generally, men did not warm to it. They felt it looked cute. And what we wanted to do was just make the car look a bit more assertive to broaden the appeal for it.
Yeah, you say that you didn't want to change it too much and that other people have caught up with you. Micra, when it first came out, was sort of revolutionary. It was very, very different. Yes. Do you not feel that maybe you should have tried to raise the stakes again this time?
No, I think small cars have a long life. And they all last about 10 years, and that's very much an industry norm. So for us it was adapting and improving. There was never any question of sort of starting again. I don't think we needed to. It's got a character. We wanted to build on it and really just broaden the appeal for the car.
Well, there are some significant changes to the outside of the car, I think particularly at the front. You can see there's a new bonnet and a new grille. And new headlamps that give it a much more assertive look on the road. We wanted to give it a bit more road presence. Also along the side there are some differences with the trims and at the rear as well. The idea is not to change it radically because the Micra has a very strong identity and we need to keep that. We just want to improve it a little bit, give it more road presence. But the big changes or bigger changes are on the inside where there's a completely redesigned interior, new dash, new seats and new materials that we think gives the car a real sort of big car feel for a Super Mini. So we think people are going to really see the difference and be appreciative of them.
In terms of how we're going to build on the sales success, not only will that come through the product in terms of the improved proposition that Micra now is. The car has improved specification levels across the range. The car now has a customer choice option lineup where customers can specify anything up to 7 independent options to suit their individual needs and tastes from that. So the car is a lot more sophisticated in terms of its customer appeal and its customer choice. Against the competition, then, as you might know at this moment in time, the UK market isn't a particularly aggressive pricing arena. There's not many manufacturers are actually increasing the prices of their cars to any significant degree at this moment in time. So naturally, we've had to be very conscious of what's going on within the competitive environment and against the principal competition that we see for this car, which is mainly cars like obviously Fiesta, Corsa, Renault Clio, Peugeot 106, then we believe that the car is very competitive from both a visual point of view and also from a value-adjusted specification point of view.
I've been the project engineer working on the programme right from the initial product planning through to the execution with Nissan Europe, NM UK, the manufacturing plant and the design company at Cranfield.
Have you, as a centre, had really quite a free hand in the design of this? Because it has been a car design for Europe. Or have you been overseen a great deal by Japan?
We very much feel it is the Micra for Europe, following the car of the year in Europe, and with the styling, the feel is for the European taste. We've listened to the market, how they received the initial car. The car is already very popular, people already like it, but we wanted and when you look in your rear view mirror, the car behind you has a bit more of an on-the-road feel to it. You think, yeah, that's the Micra. It's a more, not necessarily aggressive, but just a stronger presence, a greater character.
Like their competitors, Nissan may have made the new Micra evolutionary rather than revolutionary, but it is a much better car than the last model, and we'll be bringing you a full test on it next month.